What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and this is my first look and impressions of the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. Now I've actually got this early, and that's thanks to Carphone Warehouse, who I'm going to be working with on some interesting projects, so do look out for those. Now there's a lot of what we were already expecting, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's take a closer look. First up, it's a familiar design, very similar to the S7 Edge, with curved glass panels both front and back, and a metal frame. Now the glass panels do mean that, as with the S7 Edge, you'll get lots of fingerprints, so I definitely recommend picking up a skin from our channel sponsor Dbrand. I'll drop a link to them in the description below. Now what's unique about the Note 7, however, is the symmetry. The curves are identical on both sides, and this makes the phone very easy to hold despite its larger size. And speaking of the size, we have a 5.7 inch Super AMOLED Quad HD display, which is as beautiful as ever. Now looking around the phone, on the back you have a 12 megapixel rear-facing camera. Now this is the exact same camera that we have on the S7 and S7 Edge. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, because those are the best smartphone cameras out right now. And if you want to see how they perform in comparison to some other devices, then definitely check out my camera comparisons. Up top is a secondary mic as well as a SIM card tray. Now this has space for a SIM card as well as a micro SD card, so you can expand the storage of this by up to 256 gigabytes. That's absolutely dope because you already have 64 gigabytes on board. Yes, the base storage version of the Note 7 is 64 gigabytes. Now on the bottom is a 3.5mm headphone jack, a bottom facing speaker, a mic, and this time we have a USB Type-C port. But what's even better is that Samsung are going to be including a micro USB to USB Type-C converter in the box. The last thing you'll notice here is the S Pen, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. We've got the volume buttons on the left hand side and the power button on the right hand side. Up front on the bottom is a fingerprint scanner. The top is a 5 megapixel front-facing selfie camera, and you'll notice some additional sensors here, and that's because we now have an iris scanner. Yes, that's right, an iris scanner, which actually works really well. I'm not sure how much I'd actually use this as opposed to the fingerprint scanner, but only time will tell. Now let's talk a little bit about what makes this device unique, and that is the S Pen. So this time around, the S Pen is actually water and dust resistant, as is the rest of the phone. IP68, it's more accurate than before, and it has some new cool features. Some of my favorite features are notes on the lock screen, but it doesn't stop there, because you can actually have these on the always on display. So if you've got an important reminder like this one, then it can always stay there until you've actioned it. Speaking of the always on display, what's good is now you actually have app notifications as well. This is an update that I was waiting for a long time. Another cool feature is the translate feature, so you can hover over some text that's in a different language and it will translate it live. And one that I'm sure everyone will love is the ability to actually create GIFs from videos. I'm sure that's going to go down very well, especially on Twitter. In terms of other specs, quite similar to the S7 Edge, we've got the same Snapdragon processor or the Exynos version, 4GB of RAM, and a 3500 mAh battery, which has fast charging as well as fast wireless charging. So overall, quite an impressive package here on the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and let me also know if you'd like me to cover any of these features in detail. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me, it really does help me out. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe. I've got plenty more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching, this is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.